Imagine standing in a dark, prehistoric forest, heart-pounding, knowing something is watching you. Not a lion, not a bear, but a creature so terrifying that even the toughest cavemen whispered its name in fear. What was this forgotten beast, and why did it haunt their nightmares more than death itself? Stick around, because we're diving deep into a world where survival was a gamble, and this monster was the ultimate wild card. Picture this. You're a caveman, crouched by a flickering fire, the night alive with sounds, rustling leaves, distant howls, the snap of a twig. Every day was a fight to stay alive. Prehistoric humans didn't just wake up, grab a coffee, and head to work. Their world was raw, brutal, and unforgiving. You had to hunt for food, dodge predators, and survive freezing nights with nothing but animal hides and your wits. The average lifespan? Barely 30 years. Death was always one misstep away. Predators were everywhere. Saber-toothed cats with jaws like steel traps, massive cave bears that could crush bones with a swipe, and packs of wolves that hunted with terrifying precision. But these were known dangers. Cavemen learned their patterns, crafted spears, and fought back. They built shelters, worked in groups, and passed down survival tricks through grunts and gestures. Yet, there was one creature they couldn't outsmart, one name they whispered only in dread. This wasn't just another predator. It was a nightmare etched into their bones. Why? Because this beast didn't just hunt, it haunted. It wasn't about eating, it was about terror. It moved like a ghost, struck without warning, and left entire camps frozen in fear. Unlike saber-tooths or bears, this creature didn't follow the rules of the wild. It was something else, something that made even the bravest hunter feel like prey. To understand why this beast was so feared, we need to get inside the caveman's head. Early humans were tough, way tougher than us. They could run for miles, haul heavy carcasses, and take down animals twice their size with nothing but sharpened stones. But they weren't invincible. Their tools were basic. Flint knives, wooden spears, maybe a sling if they were fancy. No armor, no traps, no second chances. Every hunt was a gamble, and every night was a test. Cavemen survived by being smart. They watched the stars to track seasons, learned which plants wouldn't kill them, and figured out how to work as a team. If a saber-tooth was stalking their camp, they'd band together, shouting and waving torches to scare it off. Against wolves, they'd climb trees or huddle in caves. But this forgotten beast, it didn't care about their tricks. Cave art from places like Lascaux in France shows hints. Strange, hulking shapes with eyes that seemed to glow in the dark. These weren't just drawings, they were warnings. Stories told around fires spoke of a creature that could vanish into shadows, strike without warning, and leave no trace. Unlike other predators, it didn't just want food, it seemed to enjoy the chase. This was a psychological terror as much as a physical one, and it broke the caveman's spirit in ways nothing else could. Imagine facing something that didn't just want to kill you, but wanted you to know it was coming. That's what made this beast different. So, what was it about this creature that made it worse than death? Death was familiar to cavemen. Hunger, cold, or a bad fall could end you. But this beast brought a kind of fear that lingered, that followed you into your dreams. It wasn't just a threat to your body, it was a threat to your mind. Some researchers think this fear shaped early human behavior, forcing them to evolve faster, think sharper, and stick closer together. Cave paintings and bone carvings hint at rituals, maybe even sacrifices, to keep this monster at bay. The terror was so deep that it wasn't just about survival, it was about dread. Imagine trying to sleep knowing it was out there, watching, waiting. Could you handle that? Most of us would crack. This beast wasn't just a predator, it was a legend, a shadow that loomed larger than any other danger. Let's dig deeper and uncover what this creature actually was, because the truth is even wilder than the stories. Let's pull back the curtain on this forgotten beast. Based on fossil records and ancient clues, many paleoanthropologists point to Dinophilis, a cat-like predator that roamed Africa and Eurasia millions of years ago. This wasn't your average big cat. Dinophilis, or terrible cat, was built like a nightmare. Stocky, muscular, with fangs that could pierce bone and a body low to the ground for stealth. It wasn't as big as a saber-tooth, but size isn't everything. Think of it like a jaguar on steroids, with a brain wired for strategy. Fossils show it had a skull built for crushing, with teeth perfect for gripping struggling prey. Unlike lions that roared to scare you off, Dinophilis was silent. A ghost in the TA. Unlike lions that roared to scare you off, Dinophilis was silent. A ghost in the tall grass. Cave art from early human sites like those in South Africa shows eerie images of a cat-like creature with oversized eyes and a low, stalking posture. These weren't just random doodles. Early humans were obsessed with this thing. Why? Because Dinophilis didn't hunt like other predators. It wasn't after deer or bison. It hunted primates. That's right, our ancestors were its favorite meal. Imagine a creature that evolved to pick off early humans, targeting their camps, their kids, their weakest. It wasn't just a hunter. It was a specialist in us. That's what made it so terrifying. Now, let's talk about what made Dinophilis so deadly. This beast wasn't just strong. It was smart. Fossil evidence suggests it had a larger brain than most big cats of its time, meaning it could plan, adapt, and outwit. Unlike wolves that hunted in packs or saber-tooths that relied on brute force, Dinophilis was a lone stalker. It could climb trees, slip into caves, and move without a sound. Some researchers think it hunted at dusk or dawn, when light was low and humans were groggy. Imagine waking up to find your camp silent, your fire out, and then those glowing eyes in the dark. Early humans didn't have wars or guns. Their best defense was a sharp stick and a prayer. Cave sites in places like Swartkrans, South Africa, show human bones with bite marks matching Dinophilis' teeth. These weren't just kills, they were ambushes. Dinophilis didn't give you a chance to fight back. It struck fast, dragged its prey into the shadows, and vanished. No wonder cavemen drew it with such fear. This thing wasn't just a predator, it was a boogeyman. But it wasn't just the physical threat that made Dinophilis so feared. This beast got inside their heads. Other predators were predictable. You could learn their habits, avoid their territory, or gang up to drive them off. Dinophilis, it was a ghost. It didn't follow patterns. One night it might hit your camp. The next it might be miles away. This unpredictability drove early humans to desperation. Some archaeologists believe the fear of Dinophilis pushed humans to develop better tools, like fire-hardened spears, and to stick closer together in larger groups. Cave paintings and carvings from the period show what looked like protective symbols. Maybe early attempts at warding off this monster. The fear wasn't just about dying, it was about knowing you were being hunted. Imagine living with that weight, knowing something out there saw you as prey and was smarter than you expected. That's why Dinophilis wasn't just a beast. It was a force that shaped our ancestors' lives. Now, let's step into a caveman's shoes and feel the terror firsthand. It's dusk, the sky's turning red, and your small band of hunters is huddled in a shallow cave. You've got a fire going, but the wood's damp and the flames are weak. You're exhausted from a day of scavenging. Your stomach's growling, and the kids are whining. Then, you hear it. Or rather, you don't. The forest goes quiet. No birds, no insects, just a heavy, suffocating silence. Your buddy nudges you, pointing to the shadows beyond the firelight. Two glowing eyes, low to the ground, flicker and vanish, It's Dinophiles. Your heart's in your throat. You grab your spear, but it feels useless. A twig against a monster. You shout, wave the fire, but the eyes don't flinch. Then it moves, faster than you can blink. A blur of muscle and fangs. Someone screams. You throw your spear, but it's gone, dragging one of your group into the dark. The rest of you huddle closer, waiting for dawn, knowing it might come back. That's what it was like to face this beast. What could cavemen do against something like Dinophilis? They tried everything. They sharpened their spears, piled rocks at cave entrances, and kept fires burning all night. Some groups moved constantly, never staying in one place long enough to be tracked. Others left offerings, animal carcasses, or even, some evidence suggests, their own dead, to appease the beast. But nothing worked for long. Dinophilis was relentless. Fossil sites show human bones with claw marks, skulls crushed in ways that match its bite. These weren't just kills, they were massacres. Some researchers think Dinophilis forced early humans to evolve faster. Bigger brains, better teamwork, sharper tools, all to survive this one predator. Compare that to today. We lock our doors, set alarms, and sleep soundly. Cavemen had no such luxury. Their alarm was staying awake, listening for the silence that meant death was near. Could you live like that, always looking over your shoulder? The legacy of Dinophilis lives on, even if the beast itself is gone. Its reign of terror pushed our ancestors to become who we are, smarter, tougher, more connected. The fear it inspired might have sparked the first stories, the first myths, whispered around campfires.